Hello, and welcome to the Top 50 Harry Potter Character Countdown. So let's start with some honorable mentions. Barty Crouch Sr., Oliver Wood, Victor Crumb, and Vincent Crabbe. Let's start with number 50. So, we all love the house elves of Harry Potter, especially Dobby. But then there is another very big character, Kreacher. Now, Kreacher is not as friendly as Dobby. Kreacher is rude against Hermione Granger and calls her a mudblood. So obviously Kreacher does not deserve a much higher rank. But after all, he's been forced all his life to work as a slave for the Black family. Not a very nice family. And in the end, he turns out to be alright. Time for number 49. So I've given this place to Argus Filch, the caretaker of Hogwarts. So in many of the books and movies, Argus Filch is a force that goes against Harry Potter and his friends. He usually helps keep the rules clear, helps enforce the rules. He's kind of the police around Hogwarts. But he's also very funny and makes the book and movie much more enjoyable. And in the end, he turns out to help the Order of the Phoenix. Now, time for number 48 on this list. So number 48 goes to Igor Karkaroff, a headmaster of a competing school of witchcraft and wizardry. So Igor Karkaroff used to be a Death Eater and was a follower of Voldemort until Voldemort comes back in the fourth movie or book, where he abandons Voldemort and eventually gets killed. What's so great about this character is the fact that he is pathetic and makes people see that Death Eaters aren't always these brave people who try to preserve the wizardry world. Now, time for 47. Now, so this spot goes to Griphook, the elf who helped Harry find his vault in the first book, and eventually also led to helping Harry, Ron, and Hermione get into the Gringotts Bank in book 7. Now, so Griphook is this elf, a guy who stays loyal to his words, but is not very friendly to people. Now, so he is very comparable to Kreacher, which is why he didn't get such a high spot on this list. Now, for number 46. So, the person who got number 46 is Rufus Scrimgeour. I don't know how to pronounce that. He eventually becomes the Minister of Magic after Cornelius Fudge resigns. He's kind of the badass version of Cornelius Fudge. He enjoys his power just as much as Cornelius, but what's different about Rufus is the fact that he's not afraid to fight Voldemort, and that eventually ends up killing him. Now, for number 45. So, the person who got number 45 is Nymphadora Tonks, the, shall we say, sassy bitch of the Harry Potter world. She is not very old compared to many of the other Order of the Phoenix members, and she kind of represents this whole youth wizarding world, and which is a great contrast to all the elder wizards around the wizard world. So that's why she got this somewhat high spot. Now, number 44. This place goes to Fleur Delacour. The reason I loved her in the fourth book / movie, but the reason why she gets such a low spot on this list compared to her great personality in Goblet of Fire is the fact that she in the Deathly Hallows she's this totally different person with different perspectives, and it's almost as if she'd forgotten the Goblet of Fire, which is not a good thing because the Goblet of Fire was really great. Now, so number 43. This spot goes to Gregory Goyle, the other sidekick of Malfoy. So the thing that's great about Gregory Goyle that is different with Crabbe is the fact that Goyle is this more wimpy form, and wimpy is the more wimpy one of them, while Crabbe is the more, shall we say, daredevilish. So another thing that's great with Goyle is he has like a sense of style, while Crabbe just follows orders. And that eventually ends up saving Goyle and kills off Crabbe. Now, for the spot of the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Aberforth Dumbledore, the brother of Albus Dumbledore. So the thing that's so great about Aberforth is the fact that compared to Albus Dumbledore, Aberforth is a lot more easy to understand, and he gives us a clear explanation of Dumbledore, which has been haunting us for all of Deathly Hallows. J.K. Rowling really created a great character to tell this story of Dumbledore. Now, so for number 41. The person who got number 41 is George Weasley. Now, the picture here has both Fred and George. I'm only talking about George. So, both Fred and George are these comedic characters who are funny and charming. Now, the thing about George that's better about Fred is the fact that George loses his ear while Fred dies. And that makes us sympathize more for Fred and not for George. And then there's also the fact that it's always Fred and George, not George and Fred. Just a little thing. Okay, so for the round number of 40, Cedric Diggory. Now, so what makes us love Cedric Diggory so much is not the fact that he's charming, he is nice, he's smart. The fact that, or at least for me, the fact that makes me like Cedric Diggory so much is his death, and the fact that we've been introduced to his father, this really proud father, which, I mean, is a kind of devastating thing, losing your child, So, I feel that's what compelled me so much to Cedric Diggory. Now, for the place of 39. This one will surprise you. Kingsley Shacklebolt. Now, Kingsley doesn't play a very big role in neither the movies or the books. But the thing that's so great about Shacklebolt is the fact that he becomes the Minister of Magic, who ends up clearing up all the mistakes of Pius Thickness, of Rufus Scrimgeour, and of Cornelius Fudge. And another great thing about him is his leader instinct, which he took over the Order of the Phoenix after Dumbledore and Moody died. Now, number 38. So I gave the spot of 38 to Petunia Dursley. So the Dursleys are this almost portal to the mortal world, or the Muggle world, which they represent the Muggles and how the wizards are somewhat better than the Muggles. And what's so funny about Petunia is she's the neighbor who keeps on looking over to the other people, to the other neighbors to see what they're doing, and she's like the gossip. She's the gossip woman. Now for 37, whatever. So I gave this spot to Mr. Ollivander, or Garrick Ollivander. Found that online. I'll assume it's true. So what's so awesome about Mr. Ollivander is his contact to the wands, and him explaining what the thing that, the thing that makes all the wizards powerful. He's also another portal, like I was talking about with the Dursleys. He's the portal to the wands, and he's outstanding in the seventh in Deathly Hallows. Now for 36, this is another one of the more minor characters. Fenrir Greyback. He is the leader of a werewolf society. He was the person who made Bill Weasley, I think, Bill Weasley, Remus Lupin, and a bunch of other people werewolves. He's kind of this bad. He's just like Rufus Scrimgeour. He's like a badass. He's like the badass Death Eater. He plays a scary role. Now for 35, one of my favorite characters, Nearly Headless Nick, or Nicholas de Mimsy. He is the first ghost we're introduced to. He is the ghost of the Gryffindor house. So what's so great about this character is the fact that he's snobbish, but has this really interesting head thingy. So it's always fun to see him interacting with the Gryffindor students, and them asking him to take off his head, and him being all formal. Now for number 34, this is a really great funny character, Xenophilius Lovegood, I believe it's pronounced. He is the father to Luna Lovegood, one of the funniest characters in the whole series. So it ends up being pretty obvious that Luna didn't learn all her weirdness from herself, but she was taught them from her father. So even though Xenophilius turns in Harry and his friends, Xenophilius is still this kind of character you feel sympathetic for. Now, don't remember to like and subscribe this video.